Alright guys, here we go with another little rant, I guess we'll call it. This time I actually decided to do a little bit of research and figure out exactly what information I was missing in my last little commentary. I knew I was pretty unprepared in that last one, so forgive me if my information was a little bit disjointed, I suppose, would be a good way to describe it. But anyway, I went ahead and went to the Diablo 3 website, and I looked at all the spells and stuff that the different classes have so far been announced. And I got a little list here, got my own opinions written down, and I'll go ahead and talk to you guys about those a little bit, and tell you my opinions, I guess. So the first character that I looked at was the Witch Doctor. I decided to go just right to left on their website, because it looks like that was the order that they released them in, for whatever reason. And so the Witch Doctor, the first spell that they have, and the little video that they have for the Witch Doctor is called Firebomb. Now Firebomb actually looks a lot like this spell, Fire Blast. Except for the animation's a little bit different, and I don't know, it does a lot more damage, I guess. But they were just showing off what the spell does. So, yeah, so that looks like it's just a reinvention, or not even that much of a change, from the original Fire Blast spell for the Assassin. So, that is interesting, I guess. I guess they're just changing little things and just to kind of fill in some spots on the tree. Now, I assume if the skills and stats and attributes and all that stuff is done exactly the same way as it is in Diablo 2, which, I mean, I seriously doubt it's going to be like that, but it's always possible, then I would assume that it would
put that to good use.
That would scale in damage as well as area of effect. So, yeah, that would be my assumption there. So, I mean, I would like to see more creative skills for the characters, but, you know, why fix what's not broken? I just would like to see changes to the gameplay, so it's more innovative, like I was talking about in my last video. So the next spell that I looked at was Horrify. Now, in the video, it shows the Witch Doctor doing damage as it's casting Horrify, but I want to warn you guys that is not the case. Horrify, it doesn't look like it's going to do any damage. All it does is scare the units away. They're actually using the next spell, which is Locust Swarm, to do the damage. Now, Locust Swarm, I think, is a cool addition to the Witch Doctor's arsenal, and how that's going to work is basically, it's a bouncing area of effect damage, and if any of you guys, well, I don't even know of a good example of that. Well, I guess you could talk about it as like the Huntress in Warcraft 3. Her bouncing glaive, it would bounce to an additional target, or even a Mutalisk from StarCraft and StarCraft 2. How it does area damage just by bouncing to the next target. And that's what Locust Swarm does. It goes to one target, it sits there, does damage, and then it kind of multiplies and attacks the next target. As far as scaling with that one, I would assume it scales on damage as well as number of multiplications, maybe. So instead of bouncing to just 2 targets, it'll bounce to 3 or 4, and in that way, it would actually go up and be more. The damage would just scale a lot more, is what my assumption is with that one. And that way it can increase exponentially as far as the amount of units that it is affecting. So that could be, I mean, I can see that becoming a very powerful spell, and probably be seeing some nerfs coming from that one, if that's the way that they were planning on doing that. But that's just my guess for that one. Now, the next spell is, let's see, it was Mass Confusion. Now, Mass Confusion along with Horrify, actually remind me a lot of the curses that the Necromancer could do in Diablo 2. So, yeah, I think the Witch Doctor is going to be the new Necromancer, and he's going to have varying abilities, very much like curses, poisons, and stuff like that, as well as summoning. And that was the next spell. They don't have a video of it up on Diablo3.com. However, if you watch some of the gameplay footage, especially like the Siegebreaker boss fight, the Demon Hunter or the Witch Doctor is actually summoning a little pet of some kind, and that's doing damage and stuff like that. So, very reminiscent of the Necromancer from Diablo 2. So that's something. That's something for you Necromancer fans to be looking forward to. It's playing that Witch Doctor and getting the new, getting used to the new skills or whatever. But I have a feeling the gameplay for the Witch Doctor and the Necromancer are going to be very similar in some instances. Alright, so the next character class on the list is going to be the Barbarian. And like I said in my previous videos, that I hope the Barbarian is a very unique character to Diablo 3, and it doesn't have too many elements similar to Diablo 2. Now, I realize that it's going to be, it's going to have to be similar in some cases, because it's just like a continuation of the same storyline, so, but I would like to see the character grow. And I think a couple of the skills on the website actually do show this in its own way. But, you know, some of the things are similar at the same time. So the first spell, or the first skill, I guess, Barbarians don't really use spells. The first ability is Cleave. Now, it looks like that is a small, localized area of effect damage, where it only does kind of an area of effect immediately in front of the caster of that ability. I think that'll be a pretty much bread and butter skill of the early Barbarian, because it looks like it's a very simple skill, and I don't really think it would be wise for them to make it like scale as far as area of effect damage, like the size of the area, as much as damage. Now, one thing. Okay, so the next skill is let's see, Ground Stomp. Now, Ground Stomp is actually very much the same as War Stomp in World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3 from the Tauren Chieftain or the Tauren class or race in World of Warcraft. And basically all it does is it's an area of effect stun, and it causes all the enemies around you to be stunned for a certain amount of time. So that's probably going to be a very useful skill in Diablo 3, but again, they're kind of rehashing some of the skills from other games that they've already put out. Well, you know, not necessarily a bad thing, it's just I prefer creativity, and I understand that some creativity can only go so far. So the next ability is is Leap, and that's directly from Diablo 2, because Leap is a barbarian ability. However, in Diablo 3, it looks like the barbarian's actually going to be doing damage with his leap as he lands, and it would be like a little area of effect damage that they do. And yeah, so as far as the scaling of that ability, as you put more points into it, I would assume that it would increase in both distance that you can leap as well as damage. So that's going to be something I'm going to be interested to learn about. Sorry about that, I had a phone call. I don't know, nobody was there, but interrupted me anyway, bastards. Okay, so yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Leap is going to scale as you put more points or experience or however it's going to work into that ability. Alright, so the next ability for the Barbarian is Seismic Slam, and Seismic Slam looks like it's going to be another rehash of an ability from Warcraft 3. And it is the Shockwave for the Tauren Chieftain. And I like this ability for the Tauren Chieftain in Warcraft 3. It was a very handy skill. Oop, almost lost my character there for a second. That would have been horrible. So it looks like it's going to be a very area of effect damage immediately in front of the caster in a straight line for the most part. And at the same time, it looks like it might have knockback in it as well. So that's going to be a fun thing to play around with potentially. I'm going to have to rethink my battle strategy here because these characters are doing a lot of damage to me. Yeah, I think I need to get some skills or something going. Okay, let me get my character back, my mercenary back. Okay, so, yeah, Seismic Slam, area of effect damage, might potentially have knockback. Can't really tell from the picture, or the video that they had on Diablo3.com, simply because, the units just, like, died instantly, so that's not very helpful. Yeah, so the last ability they have on Diablo3.com is Whirlwind, and of course that is also just a rehash of Diablo 2 ability. Oh well, I'm already level 10, okay. Okay, so, yeah, another rehash of the same ability from Diablo 2. And I like the new animation, the new sound effects for it, but again, just a rehash, so a little bit disappointing there. Yeah, so let's take a look at the next character class. Which one is that? Oh yeah, the Wizard. Okay, so a little bit of a correction I want to make. The first spell is Disintegrate, and Disintegrate is the spell that I was talking about. It's like a laser beam that is just shooting out from the wizard's hands and basically cuts through the enemies. Now it does look like it does have a finite range to it, so probably going to be very similar to what was that? Very similar to Inferno, just maybe, but it looks like it might go just all the way to the end of the screen and not necessarily have to get, the range might not have to scale with as you put more skills into that. So I can't really think very good right now. I don't know why. Macaroni and cheese getting in my head or something. Yeah, so it looks like it's probably going to do a mana drain thing, very similar to Inferno from the Sorceress. So it's just kind of a reinvention of that particular ability, which, you know, is okay. So what can I do? Okay. Guess I'm just gonna have to do a little baiting and stuff like that. But, okay, so the next spell is, let's see, for the sorcerer, the wizard, actually, is Teleport. So Teleport in Diablo 2 was the main ability for for fast travel for the sorceress, and a way to like get away from enemies really fast, or you know, mess with the AI a little bit, stuff like that. So, wow, my mercenary dies like instantaneously. She needs to get more levels, I think. So that's what Teleport is. It's not going to do any damage or anything. It's just a way for her to travel around the map fast, and maybe it'll be very similar to Diablo 3 in the fact that you can rush characters through to the next act very easily, and you know, stuff like that. So the next ability is Electrocute, and this spell, my first opinion of it is like, wow, this spell really sucks, because it's very similar to Locust Swarm in that it bounces from the next character, and it's kind of like an area of effect damage. But it doesn't look like it does very much damage, and that's going to be a big deal breaker for that spell. And I mean, every character has a